Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com. With your hosts, Diana-Mite, Bruce Barker, and Scott Lucky Hudson.
Oh yeah, and it's another Tuesday night. Well, the studio's full. I'm back in full force.
Yay!
Did you miss me? Because I missed you guys and girls. Yeah, we're back. I'm Diana-Mite. This is, Scott Lucky Hudson.
Where you been, Diana-Mite? I could barely do this show without you.
Yeah, you had no problem, Lucky. We've got Bruce Barker back there handling all the controls.
Hey!
And, of course, we've got Bob back in studio with us. You know what? He held the fort down for us while Lucky was on the road, taking care of everything. We want to send him a special thanks and let him know how much we appreciated it.
Oh, thank you.
Tonight, Terry Freeman, she's going to be talking with us about an exciting new event called the Streets of Thunder. That's going to be in Ontario, California, Lucky.
That's October 7th. And you guys remember the Covina Thunderfest and the Bluesapalooza?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is the young lady that's responsible for all that for many, many years. And she's taken it to the next level. She's made it bigger, better. And this is something that you definitely want to get into. So we're going to...
She's an awesome promoter is what you're telling me,
Awesome.
right?
So we're going to introduce her in a minute, and we're going to talk to her a little bit about all that.
Great.
Well, see these images right here? Last weekend we had the Speed Scene Live Nova at the Cruisin' for a Cure car show. Big show.
See that
Ladies and
little
gentlemen,
roadster
big
right
show.
there? That thing was so loud and obnoxious next to us, we could not hear ourselves think.
They allowed
Had
it to start.
Open headers.
Open headers, and would not stop to save our lives.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Anyway, big show. The Hot Rodders of tomorrow. The Engine Challenge going on at the Hedman booth. We're going to see some video of that coming up in a few seconds. Cool deal. We'll talk about that later in the show, though. Right, Lucky?
That's right. Now, and you get some good shots of the Curry Rear Ends booth right there. We've got some of those Hedman Hustler headers, those race headers on display, and of course all that cool Curry Rear Ends and all the components for your suspension. Now tonight, Brian Layton will be on the phone with the PRP Seats and Belts Off-Road Report, and Hot Rod Bob Beck. Well, Bob, what will you be talking about tonight?
Well, you know, I was at the Cruising for a Cure as well, and we ran into a special car that we're going to tell you about. It's an old high school project vehicle. It's been restored, and it's beautiful. Ran NHRA, was a class winner in M stock. We'll talk about that, but we're also going to talk about October 12th and 14th, the ANRA season finale at Bakersfield, and the California Hot Rod Reunion also at Bakersfield's coming up. So come down and get a free Curry goodie bag and see the Curry Race Nova in person, plus all the cool nitro cars and nitro funny cars and historic racers. I'm going to be at the Hot Rod Reunion. Lucky's going to be at the Hot Rod Reunion.
That's
You've got to come by
right.
and see us.
Come on down and see us in the Curry booth. Now, Bob, you're probably going to be up in the tower.
Yes, I am. It's
Working
air
away.
conditioned.
It's air conditioned. But Diana-Mite will be in the Curry booth, and you can
Are
come
you kidding?
by.
I'm going to the tower.
Yes.
If it's air conditioning up there, I'm going to go sit
You
with
are
Bob.
welcome in there.
Well, you can see all these cool cars that were at the Cruising for a Cure car show, and they're all cruising past the Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers booth all day long. It was a great show, but tonight...
Your car almost looks orange, Lucky.
It almost
What's going
does.
on there?
Because it's too much red for that little camera.
It's too much red?
Oh, there's that contest you're telling
Hey,
us
look
about.
at this.
Hey,
Yes.
girls rock. These chicks took that thing apart and put it back together in 21 minutes.
21 minutes?
21 minutes.
Unfortunately, the other team did it in 18 minutes, but why was that, Diana-Mite? What was it they dropped?
Unfortunately, one of the young ladies dropped a bolt down into the block, and they had to fish it out with a magnet, so that did take a little time. They were actually ahead of the other team, ahead of the boys, by about, maybe 20, 30 seconds. So, I mean, every second counts in this thing. And, you drop a bolt, it takes 2 minutes away from your time fishing it out. So that's why they got the 21 minutes instead of the 18.
But it is so cool to see the hot rodders of tomorrow, the young people getting involved. And I know so many young people now, they don't even know how to change the oil on their car. And here these kids can tear down a motor and reassemble a motor in less than half an hour. You know that they're going to feel more confident about cars and all the things involved. We'll talk about that more, but right now, Diana-Mite, I think we should introduce our special guest tonight.
Well, Lucky, why don't you go ahead and do that, because I know you want to.
Terry, welcome to Speed Scene Live. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on. You are the young lady that's been involved and so instrumental in the Covina Thunderfest, and now you have a new deal going on. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me come and brag about my new event. I'm real excited about it. It's going to be on Sunday, October 7th at the Citizens Business Bank Arena. And you can find the arena behind Mathis Brothers off of the 10 freeway in between Haven and Milliken. Admission is $10. 13 and under are free, and parking is free. So it should be a fun day. We've got lots of race cars coming. I've got just about every imaginable race car that you can feast your eyes on. And we've got dragsters and sprints and midgets and stock cars and a beautiful nostalgia area. And just for a lot of fun, several times during the show, we will be firing up the dragsters and a couple of the Indy cars and a couple of the nostalgia sprints or midgets. And so everybody will get to feel the roar and see what it's like to experience a race car live and in person.
And you're also going to have live music, food, and something for the kids also.
Yes, we're going to have a children's activity area where the kids can come and play. So while mom and dad are, mom's shopping the vendors and dad's looking at the cars, the kids will have a place to go and hang out and do a few activities and just enjoy the day. It's a day for the entire family.
Wow, that's nice. And it's freeway close, right?
Absolutely. Right off of the 10 in between Milliken and Haven.
And it's off the 10, near the 15, the 60's just a jump and a skip across the way. I mean, there's a lot of freeways that cross that intersection there, and, you know, there's so many great communities of people that can come to that event, correct?
Correct. And, you know, we do have a special display, and that's the 911 Angel cars. And what these are is it's 5 Camaros that are dressed up to represent police cars. And every person who perished in the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers in Pennsylvania on the plane and also at the Pentagon, all of the names are on all 5 of the cars. Each car represents one of the groups where the people perished. And so that's going to be one of the first things that people see when they walk through the turn gates. And it's something we're real proud to be showcasing.
Well, that sounds like a great deal. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But we've got on the line a gentleman that has just been tearing it up lately. Diana-Mite, bring him on, will you please?
Okay, let's go to line 1 and welcome Tommy Phillips. Tommy, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Well, thank you. Good evening. How are you guys?
We're great.
We're doing great, Tommy. Man, you have just been on a tear. Win, win, win lately.
Well, it's been a pretty good 4 or 5 weeks, that's for sure. We had a terrible first half of the season. I thought, oh my gosh, did I forget how to race? And are my cars this bad? And we took a break and just kept working on it. We came back and, oh my goodness, just a lot of good fortune, and things are really going well right now.
Well, for people that don't know you, you've been involved in Super Gas, Super Comp, and Stock also?
Super Stock.
Super
actually.
Stock. And then tell us a little bit about some of your recent wins, Indy, and then, of course, last weekend.
Yeah, we started off the second half of the year up in Cordova, Illinois, about 5 weeks ago, and we won the Lucas Oil race there, and so things seemed to be turning around. And then we went to Indy and fought the rain, and were there for 13 or 14 days, and got rained out. Came back, and for the first time actually in my career, won Super Comp there at Indy, and so that was a big accomplishment for my team. That's one of the few things I've never done. And then we came home and had a week off, and and went out to Ennis, which is my home race. I live just outside of Dallas, maybe 20 miles, and we went out there and had the good fortune of winning in both Super Gas and Super Comp.
Wow.
So in front of the hometown and my family, and it just couldn't have went much better, to be honest with you.
Well, that's great because you switch back and forth from dragster to the Corvette, don't you?
Yes, I do, and that gets pretty hectic if you do get down to the last round or two in both cars. It's very hectic on Sunday. It's all about TV time, and so they run Super Gas as the first pair, and I've got about 130 seconds to have my dragster back up there, and that's a pretty tall order, to be honest with you.
Wow.
But you've got some help. I noticed one of the pictures, there's quite a few people wearing the team uniforms.
Absolutely. You know, like most things in life, you don't do it alone, and I have excellent people. I have a couple of people that work for me full-time and a part-time person that does some of the marketing stuff, and they individually are very, very good at their jobs, and so, you know, it makes my job a lot easier, and it all worked out this weekend.
So you're going to be building muscle here holding these two Wallies.
Believe it or not, those things are pretty heavy, and they'll when they're wanting you to hold them up like that, I'm like, well, you know, we can't pose forever. My arms are hurting.
Now, tell us who your current sponsors are with the team.
Have a couple of big sponsors. Of course, K&N Filters has been with me now for this is our 5th year together, and they're awesome. They're a company out there, of course, on the West Coast. So
I think they're in Ontario, California, right over where they're going to have the Streets of Thunder event.
That's correct. And those guys, Steve Williams and Tony Yorkman, and those guys over there have been a part of my team for about 5 years, and they are one of my major sponsors, and very, very good to my team and a lot of the events that support a lot of the events that we do outside of the racetrack, displays and meet and greets and car shows and stuff we do back here at home and for the local community. They support a lot of that too. So, and then the other, I have one other major sponsor, and it's a local company here, though they're worldwide, and it's CBS Arc Safe. Circuit Breaker Sales is the name of the parent company there, and they sell commercial circuit breaker parts that basically run cities and states and governments all over the world. So they're a big company and a good supporter as well.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, what class do you enjoy racing the most?
The most, I probably enjoy running my Corvette the most in Super Gas, and so it's. I don't know. It's the dragster's really good, and you know I've built and sold those for a long time. So I definitely have a passion for the dragsters, and but you know the '57 Corvette's just cool.
Yeah,
it's
and classic. A little bit shorter wheelbase. It looks cooler.
It'll act up from time to time, so you got to stay awake in there.
Yeah, the girls like it because it looks like a real car, right?
Okay, well, we wasn't going to go there, but since you brought it up.
Yeah. What can I say?
Now, Tommy, you've obviously been very successful recently. We're not going to go back to the beginning of the year, but recently you've been done very well. Last year you did very well. What do you attribute the secret to winning so often? I mean, all these super classes are very competitive fields. I mean, what do you really attribute the wins to? Do you do visualization? Do you sit in your trailer with the practice tree? What do you do?
Are you lucky?
No, he's right here.
Well, I'm not named Lucky, so I guess. You know, honestly, it's truthfully, I just have to say it's like anything in life. It's your commitment to being better than everyone else. I probably spend more time testing than most, and I constantly am trying to upgrade and look for something better and more consistent and more reliable and faster, and I practice a lot on my practice tree to the tune of about 1,000 hits a week, and all at different times, and I spend a lot of time on the technical side of my cars are really good, and you know, I analyze everything they do and in the conditions they do, and believe it or not, we as sportsman racers, a lot of times, we spend as much or more time perfecting our program as even the pros do. It's that important to me, and so I'm that committed to it. And truthfully, I think that is the single biggest difference in any continued success in racing, is just your commitment to making sure that happens.
Well, you're living the dream too. I mean, you know, you get to go racing. You have sponsors that support you. You have a wonderful team that supports you, and you know, a lot of guys dream that they could do that. You're actually doing that.
And he's got a Corvette.
Had a Corvette.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a Corvette. That's true. Everything you said is true, and I assure you, not a day goes by that. You know, I don't thank the good Lord for those blessings, and you know, it's a lot of hard work, and you know, and we just stay committed to being excellent, and it's worked out for me. You know, you need a little luck, and you need a little good fortune, but what you mainly need is you need a whole lot of hours and a whole lot of willingness to work beyond what someone else will, and you know, maybe the last 8 or 9 years of my racing career, I've had a lot of sponsorship and have enjoyed some success. But truthfully, a lot of that was 18 years in the making. And so, like anything, you know, what looks like a recent success has really been a lifelong building process.
So you're one of these 10-year-long overnight success.
Yeah, 10, maybe 20 even. A lot of the people, unfortunately for me, I've been lucky to be involved with some good people along my racing career, and many of them have stayed, and some have come and gone and come back. And so I had the good fortune of, you know, just surrounding myself with good people in all different arenas, and so when I had a little success and I was able to dedicate, you know, more time to racing, and you know, I had a lot of options and a lot of opportunities, and you know, lucky for me, you know, that a few of them had enough faith in me to write a check, and here we are. So,
well, Tommy, thanks for talking to us on Speed Scene Live. We wish you continued success. And I guess I'm going to be looking for you at Pomona at the end of the year, trying to get that World Championship, probably, huh?
Absolutely, I'll be out there. We have one more race here at home in Houston, Lucas Oil race in 2 weeks, and then we will head west for both the Lucas Oil race and the national event in Vegas, and then on to Pomona to close the year. So I like coming out there, and we had a runner-up to start the year out there, so maybe we can come out and finish up at the end of the year.
When you're out here on the West Coast, give us a call. Maybe we can get you to come in live in studio and bring one of those Wallies with you.
That would be great.
You may not be leaving with it, I got to tell you right now. You can bring it with you, but you might not make it out the door with it.
I don't know. That'd be a tough one. Those things are pretty hard to come up with. When they hand it to you on the stage, you know, I try to tell Alan, I go, boy, it just doesn't look like a $100,000 trophy.
Well, thanks a lot, Tommy, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you for having me. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, you know, Terry, Tommy made a nice comment about you can do a lot when you have good people around you, and it really helps. I'm sure you must have a lot of people that are helping you with your Streets of Thunder.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, it's all you?
It's all me. I have just one person that's helping me currently with the vendors, and other than that, it's me.
But then again, Terry, it's the relationships that you've made in the past years that allow you to put something like this together. So the relationships with the vendors, with the racers, with the car show people, with the car clubs and so forth, right?
Right. And, you know, I've worked very hard, and this is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I absolutely love what I do. I love it.
Now, your dad was involved with this years ago, right?
Correct.
Didn't he kind of inspire you?
Well, my dad's career was in auto racing. This was something that he started, the original Thunderfest was something that he started when he retired from racing. And Mickey Thompson's sister, Colleen, who is still a very good, close family friend of ours, was contacted by the city and asked if they had somebody that could put on a show that would showcase the city. And Colleen called my dad called Barbara and Wally Parks, and Thunderfest was born. And then in 1999, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and we thought he was going to survive, and he passed away 2 weeks prior to the event. And I was running it in his place, and then I remained there and produced it for 8 years beyond that.
Well, it's a lot of work, but I've been to your events before. You really do a great job. And one of the things that's really great about how you do your events is you bring all the racers and drivers and car people with all the spectators. You bring them all together and you merge them together and you let them interact. And that's really what's special. And it gets people involved in racing.
It's a lot of fun, and I think where I build the relationships is I spend a lot of time on the phone with them and talking to them and getting them registered. We laugh, we joke. I've even been able to take some time and make some personal friends out of a lot of the drivers. I have one gentleman that I got to know a few years into producing Thunderfest who was a recipient of lung, and we got to talking. And then when I left Covina, I lost contact with him, and he called me to register for Streets of Thunder. And the last I had talked to him, he was ill, and I had kind of always wondered if he had survived. And I found out he did. He was going strong, and we had a wonderful time on the phone.
Good.
Well, I just got a link on thefote.com to your Facebook page. It's facebook.com Streets of Thunder Car Show. And nice web page, nice, Facebook page, everything all laid out there. Are you expecting a lot of people for the inaugural event?
Yeah, we are.
You're hoping, Elise.
We're hoping.
Well,
we're
it's
hoping
nice
word's
because
out there.
It's a full family event. You can bring your children. You don't have to leave the kids at home.
You can eat.
You can eat. You can listen to music. I mean,
can
there's
eat the
so many
children?
things. No.
Well, if you're desperate.
There's a lot of activities fun-filled activities going on, right?
Absolutely. We've got the bands. We've got the children's activity area. Again, like I said earlier, we're going to be revving up some of the cars. Several of the drivers I know have told me that if you ask real nice, they'll let a few people sit in the cars, and which is going to be exciting for a lot of the spectators, because these are things that they can't normally experience when they go to the tracks. And we're hoping to build a following for these drivers, getting to know them on a personal basis. Then, now they have a tie to go watch somebody race because they've met them. They've talked to them. They have pictures with them. And it's just a great way to promote the sport itself, the various aspects of the racing. And it's a great way for the drivers to showcase their sponsors and to get the word out that racing is alive and well, and it's a fun sport to watch.
Well, that sounds cool. And, I know we've got a commercial break, and we're going to talk to some stuff with Hot Rod Bob and the Great American Auto Scene. But make sure that you bookmark the Streets of Thunder Facebook. I just put a link up on the Speed Scene Live Facebook, so you can check it out. Also, their website is Streets of Thunder Motorsportsevents.com. Yep, Streets of Thunder Motorsports Events. There you go.
Yeah, that's a mouthful, but you know what? You can type it out. I'm sure if you Google Streets of Thunder, that'll pop up.
Or you have to have a really sharp pencil to write it all out. But that's all that was available. I just wanted Streets of Thunder, and it wasn't available, so that's the best I could do.
Close enough, and there's links right on the Facebook page. Bruce, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk more to Terry about Streets of Thunder. And that is coming up October 7th in Ontario, California. What's the name of that facility, Terry?
Citizens Business Bank Arena.
Awesome. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Carrie Hart driving the U2 truck, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
Whether you have a hot rod that needs more hustle or a muscle car that needs more muscle, if it's more power you want, Hedman has it. Since 1954, Hedman headers have worked harder, fit better, and lasted longer than the new guys on the block. In fact, Hedman headers are so tough, they're guaranteed for life. So log on to Hedman.com tonight, because if it's more power you want, Hedman has it.
For over half a century, Curry rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Curry lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com. Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV with your hosts Diana-Mite, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, The Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton, and The Great American Auto Scene with Bob Beck.
Welcome back, Speed Scene Live, and thank goodness you can't hear what we talk about during the commercial. It's disgusting. Oh, jeez. Well, we're all here tonight. Diana-Mite's over here, live in studio.
Welcome.
Bruce Barker, Magic Bruce, as the people on the phone like to call him. Hot Rod Bob Beck, and we've got Terry Freeman, who's talking to us tonight about the Streets of Thunder event. That's going to be October 7th in Ontario, California. This is a great event for drivers to come out, put their cars on display, sign autographs, talk to fans. If you are a driver that is serious about getting sponsored, these are the type of events that you should be attending. It shows that you know how to market yourself. It shows that you're out there pushing yourself. You're not just going to the track. You're attending events that are high profile. And this is a great place to come if you want to get exposure. A lot of times company owners will see you at an event like this, and it's worked for me in the past. And, you know, Bruce, this is actually one of these events is the reason why I do the radio and the TV and all this stuff, thanks to Salem Communications.
I had no idea.
That's right. They saw me.
I remember when that happened
Yeah.
in San Bernardino, California.
Yeah, I wanted money, and they said, no, we'll give you a stinking radio show.
Yeah.
Darn it. Hey, anyway, we've got Hot Rod Bob Beck, and he was out at the Cruisin' for a Cure car show. Bob, what an event it was, wasn't it?
Oh, that was an amazing event. Over 3,500 cars, the biggest one-day car show in all of Southern California. And I'm Bob Beck. You've got gas here on Speed Scene Live. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Both you and I, Lucky, were out there. Diana was out there as well. It's a one-day car show that just fills the whole Orange County fairgrounds, and people actually cruise as well as park their cars. Well, one of the cars I came across there is a high school project vehicle that back in the late 60s, early 70s, was a race car running M stock. With us tonight is John, the auto shop teacher. How you doing, John?
I'm doing just great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You know, you just restored that car, so it is impeccable. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, you were out of the show. How many shows have you... You just finished the car in time to go to the show, didn't you?
Well, the car found me 9 years ago, and Thursday I finished the car in exactly 9 years, and
Wow.
and the Cruise for the Cure was my first time out with it.
Wait a minute, what did you say? The car found you?
It found me. 9 years ago I got a phone call one night, and the guy was questioning me about it. He saw it featured in a high-performance Chevy book. I think it was called the Complete Chevy Book from 1970.
Wow.
And he said he was a nostalgic race car buff, and he thought it had nostalgic value. And I said, well, we were the first high school in the country to actually race a car at a major event with the school name on it, to the best of my knowledge.
Wow.
And he asked me if I was interested in buying it back, and I said, oh, it disappeared 35 years ago. Oh, no, it's in my friend's driveway down in El Cajon.
Unbelievable.
Oh, so it didn't get too far.
He said it was a complete car, but very shabby looking. I said, you sure it's the same car? And he said, yeah, it still has that weird paint job on it with the lace pattern, which is what we did way back then.
Yeah.
As part of our graphics. And So the owner called me the next night, and he said, yes, it's on eBay, and it's going to get sold the next night at 7 o'clock. 2 guys are bidding on it. They've exceeded the reserve.
Wow.
So I drove down the next day after school. He uncovers the car, and sure enough, it's Pioneer 1, said Western High School on it, but very shabby looking. So I talked him into taking it off the auction, and I bought it back, and I brought it home, and I got it running, drove it around the block, and then I put it in my shop here at home in Yorba Linda. And I have a hoist there, and I put it on the hoist, and I took the car totally apart.
Wow.
Ended up with a bare frame sitting on the ground. And it's been a labor of love for the last 9 years.
So it doesn't look shabby anymore,
No, not
because
at all.
I saw it in the McGuire's booth, and it looks very nice.
Very chic.
Yep. And you know, I had 7 of my former students show up that day, and it was quite a reunion. I didn't know they were coming. A couple of them I did, but some of them showed up that I hadn't seen or heard from since 1969, 70.
Wow.
And it was great. We got a group picture, and they were. I was having more fun just watching them reminisce back to those days.
Yeah, I knew one of the guys was there, Mike. From Mike Koch from
Mike Cook, yeah.
Cook, and from Suzuki. He, you know, that shows you the input you had on him. He went into the automotive business.
Yeah, yeah.
So the auto shop does that. Yeah.
Another student owns a powder coating company out in Chino, and he's been a big help with me on it.
Now,
And,
Lynn was there. Wasn't he one of the early drivers?
Lynn Ripitou, along with another student who is a good friend of his named Steve Sales, they were involved with me as a pit crew for my best friend who was racing a Porsche 904 back in 1968.
Wow.
And he gave a guy a joyride one night, and 2 blocks from his house he killed himself in the car.
Oh,
man.
And it hit us pretty hard. And so back then all of my students were talking about street racing. And so I said, you know, let's get racing off the streets, and we'll start an auto club, and we'll find a car. And we found this car sitting behind a radiator shop in Buena Park, California. The owner agreed to sell it to us for $1. We had to give up the engine and transmission and rear end and wait 2 weeks before we could pick it up. And I said, why wait 2 weeks before we can pick it up? He says, well, he opened the trunk, and he says, this dog just had a litter of puppies in the trunk, and I have to wait 2 weeks before I can move them out.
Oh.
And that's a true story.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
And
the car is
so-
beautiful, and we've got. We also have some video that Lynn took. He's put on Facebook, and I've also put. Well, he sent it. I put it. He put it on YouTube. We've got it on Facebook, so people can see the car and hear the car actually running.
Yeah, it sounds pretty healthy. Jim Van Gordon did the engine for me. It still had the same engine in it that we had in it when we raced it back in 69 and 70 and 71.
Now, this car won an NHR event, didn't it?
It did win its class at the Winter Nationals in 1971. It appeared in Hot Rod magazine in April of 71, so there's a picture of it at the starting line. And apparently the opponent in the final round must have either broke out or broke, because the ET and the speed was much lower than what the car was capable of. But it did win its class, and by that time it had been sold to our student driver. The school made us get rid of the car in early 71. And so the student, who I haven't been able to locate, he campaigned it for a short while, and then they eliminated all the junior stock classes that year, after that year. And so that's when the car disappeared.
Well, what was his name? Let's put it out over the air, and maybe
His name
someone
was
knows.
Bill Allen.
Bill Allen.
Bill Allen, and I just haven't been able to locate him yet.
Okay, well, we're seeing the group photo that was taken at this year's Cruising for a Cure. I see Mike Cook over on the left side. Why don't you let us know who the other people are that were standing in that picture?
There's Mike Cook, Glenn Steele, Lynn Ripitou. I'm trying to go.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I think he
might have been a cell. Yeah, kind of sounds like it.
Okay, John, give us a call back.
Yeah, there goes
You know,
one.
I never got to ask him if he kept one of the puppies.
Well, probably the guy that actually owned the Chevy to begin with kept a puppy.
Yeah, the puppy was named Chevy. The other one was 150, and the other one's 327. Yeah.
One was trunk.
Your trunk, yeah. Come here, trunk. Yeah.
Now, Terry, I'm sure that you've got a lot of interesting cars. I don't know about exactly like this car, but similar cars coming to the Streets of Thunder event. And can you think of any offhand? Any of the nostalgia cars that'll be there?
Well, I have a lot of nostalgic cars. Unfortunately, I didn't. A lot of them are famous and well known, and I wish I could tell them to you.
It'd be great to have that list right
yeah,
in front.
I wish I had.
Oh, you're going to have John and Don Ewald, correct? So they're
Right.
they're going to bring the MasterCard and the Bank Americar. Now, is Ewald...
John is back, by the way.
John is... Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about Ewald bringing the Firestone race cars?
Yes,
He's going to bring the
bringing
Indy
the
cars.
Firestone Indy cars.
Okay, now we've got John back on the phone with us. Sorry about that, John.
That was me, probably. That was probably my landline working right. So
Technology.
Now I'm on my cell
The
phone.
battery died, huh?
On the
I think
landline.
so.
Now, great shots right now on screen of the undercarriage of the 57, and that is pristine. Now, most of the guys on the East Coast are going to look at this going, those can't be the original floors.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
This
the
is
car was pretty
California.
sound when it came back to me. Just a little bit of the floor in the trunk compartment had to be replaced, but all the passenger compartment floors were solid as could be. Very little rust in the body, and Cypress Auto Body did all the metal work and paint on it. They painted all of the pearl white.
Wow.
And I was real pleased with the results on that. And the lettering was done by Quicksilver, Larry Fader at Quicksilver. He's up in San Dimas, California.
Larry
and
did
then,
our race cars way back when.
really?
Yeah.
And then at the very end, just a few days before the show, a fellow named Danny D, who does a lot of lowrider cars, he came out to my house, and he and his two helpers spent 4.5 days doing all of the lace pattern and the red stripes, and I was really pleased with the work they did.
The car is beautiful. I was told to go look for the car, and it was immediately visible. You had a prominent spot in the McGuire's booth at Cruising for a Cure, but the car is fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hopefully the next time it'll be seen will be at the John Force Holiday Car Show on December 2nd in Yorba Linda.
Yeah, that's a big car show.
Well, you know, there is the Streets of Thunder car show October 7th.
Thank you.
Might be something you might be interested in coming out.
Still entries available.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was just sitting here chomping at the bit to say, why isn't this car coming to Streets of Thunder?
There you
well,
go.
It's a very strong possibility. I need to get some more information on it.
Well, if you watch the show...
Yeah,
wait.
I've got your card. Terry will have it before the end of the show, John. You're stuck now.
And you can count on a phone call. Just don't make me hunt you down, because when I do, it gets real ugly.
Hey, John, we have one question we were bantering about when we lost you on the phone. Who got the dogs?
I have no idea.
Yeah, the puppies that were in the trunk.
He got the car, and that's all that matters, right?
That's it, yeah.
And I'm kicking myself for not taking any pictures of it that day.
Oh.
It's something. Yesterday I drove back over there, and it's an empty lot now.
Oh, that's a shame.
Unfortunately.
Now, one of the things we were looking at the undercarriage of the car, and for those people not familiar with the 57 Chevys, there is no transmission mounts on them.
No.
It just hangs out. The transmission's only suspended by the bell housing itself. Now, do you still have the side mounts on the bell housing?
Yes.
Wow.
And I have the original style motor mounts
in the front.
I tried to keep the car as period as possible. It does have the scatter shield on it, and it does have a drive shaft loop. I try to make it safe. And by the way, I tried to insure it with AAA Classic Insurance, and I'm waiting to get an answer from them. And they made me sign a release saying I can't race it.
Well, Bob,
it is street legal.
You're not
street legal, and it is race prepared. But I'm 70 years old now, and I don't need to be racing.
You're not gonna,
Bob, you're not supposed to tell him it's a race car.
It's a show car.
I know nothing, and I can prove it.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for that.
Yes, you know me very well, I think.
Well, John, thanks a lot. Great looking car. We really enjoyed seeing it out there, and I didn't know the whole story, and now I know. So, you know what? I'm going to look for you at the Streets of Thunder car show October 7th, and I sure hope I see you out there.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you very much.
We'll definitely see you at John Force, and please say hello to all the guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a story.
Man, well, Terry, that would be a good addition, and I'm sure that there's several people out there. A lot of these old cars, they a lot of them have great stories. They really are interesting to hear about. Now, you've mentioned midgets and drag cars. How about off-road vehicles? Do you have any off-road vehicles at this event?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have. I might have one or two, but I'm in competition. The show is in competition with the fairgrounds and the off-road event that they're having out there. So when I called my contact at SCORE, they were unable to help me secure drivers for the event. So hopefully next year, and what I like about that is, I mean, I'm sad that they're not there this year, but next year that'll be another factor that I can add to the event that I don't have this year, because I like to keep the show fresh. I like to have different things that I can add to the show, and so that, you know, the public is not coming back and seeing the same things time and time again.
Well, when you're ready next year and you want those off-road people to come in, we're going to put you in touch with Brian Layton, because Brian Layton is in charge of the PRP Seats and Belts Off-Road Report. And Diana-Mite, I think you have him around here somewhere.
Let's go to line one and welcome Bryant Layton. Bryant, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hey guys, nice to talk to you guys again. Sorry it's been so long. We've been really, I've been really busy. There's been too much going on in the world of off-road lately. This is actually kind of our downtime, but there is some events coming up. And, you know, the like we were talking about earlier, the Off-Road Expo is kind of like the SEMA show for off-road every year. It's a huge event. And then also the Powder Puff race is coming out again. So we've been really busy at Binge Racing getting the Jeep ready for the girls to go out there and raise awareness for breast cancer again, and we're really excited about that. But we also got, you know, a couple more big races coming up, the Baja 1000, which is always in November, and we've also got one more race in Laughlin this year, and we're really excited about doing that. But, you know, the shows like you guys are talking about, though, getting off-road into the shows is seriously, the off-roaders want to do it. It's just hard to do it when it's in competition with the same, you know, the same day and everything like that.
And I would absolutely welcome them to come out to the show. Love to have you guys out there.
We are kind of rowdy, though.
Hey, you know what? That's my cup of tea. Okay.
She can take you. She can handle you.
Yeah. Oh, this is the new Brian. I'm calming down for a little while.
You mean you don't want to get slapped around anymore? Come on.
The pills are working, is what you're saying?
The electric shock therapy is finally kicking in.
But he likes that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You know what? It's racing for as long as I've raced. You start realizing you're not 18 anymore, and
what?
you got a whole wear and tear on your body. So,
we're not 18 anymore?
No, Bryant's 19, remember?
Well, I like 21. At least then I'm legal.
I'm not even going to start going there right now.
That's right, I know.
But we got a great, I think I'm going to try to get next week, Anna Cody back on the show again. She's going to be our driver of record for Binge Racing. We got a couple great girls that are going to be riding with her. She's going to drive the whole thing this year. We're really looking forward to it, and it's October 6th out in Barstow, California, if anybody can make it out. And that's really all I got going on for the PRP Off-Road Seats and Belt report tonight, but please stay tuned next week, and I'll be back with a great interview and a really good time.
Sounds great, Brian. Thanks for checking in. That's Brian Layton with the PRP Seats and Belts Off-Road Report. Great talking to you, Brian.
Great talking to you guys, too. Talk to you next week.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, you know, I guess timing's everything, huh, Terry? Yeah. And unfortunately, the off-roaders are all doing their thing, and you know, that's a problem. In California, more than anywhere else, there's so much stuff to do. It's hard to get anything going because there's so much things competing, and
but once you do start getting something going, like you get a following, and that's one of the things with Terry. You know, she's got that following from all of those loyal people that she's been working with for years and years, right, Terry?
Correct.
And you know, like anything, this business is all about relationships. So if it's running PR for an event like this, putting on a race, what have you, it's all about relationships. And we talked to you guys about getting sponsors and so forth. That, again, it's all about relationships. So be professional, don't burn any bridges, and make those relationships.
Now, speaking of relationships, what are some of the companies that are sponsoring this event, Terry?
Well, my title sponsors or presenting sponsors are Bud Light and KCAL FM radio. And then I have Lucille's Lucille's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Ooh, I love that.
And they're going to be out there serving lunch to all the participants, of which you're not getting a lunch.
I love
you're racing.
Oh, I love Lucille's.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite restaurants there. Barbecue chicken salad
and
is to die for.
Okay, well, they're doing barbecued pulled pork and pulled chicken sandwiches for all my participants.
Wow.
I have a new restaurant that's pretty new to the Rancho Cucamonga area. Some are familiar with it, called Lazy Dogs.
Oh, yeah. You can bring your animals. And
I heard that.
I think it's just dogs. Don't say animals.
Okay, you can bring your dogs, because we went with our friends before, and you can sit in the patio, and people bring their dogs on leashes, and the dogs can sit there. They have little bowls of water and stuff. And the little mints that people get as you're exiting the restaurant are shaped like dog bones.
Oh, that's
They are the
That is
cutest
cute.
thing.
Yeah. Well, and then one of my other sponsors is BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. And so all 3 restaurants will be serving lunch to my participants.
Wow.
And
you just picked the best 3 restaurants right there.
Yeah.
I tried.
Just the best 3.
Now, are those restaurants in that, what do they call that, the Victoria Garden area?
Lucille's, the Lucille's that will be providing lunch for the participants are 2 Lucille's. One is in Chino and one is in Temecula. The BJ's Restaurant and Brew House is in Ontario, right next to the Ontario Mills Mall, as is Lazy Dogs.
Okay.
And then I just secured another sponsor today, and that's Dave & Buster's.
Oh, wow.
And
And they're right over there in that area,
They
too.
are in the Ontario Mills Mall. And I also have, I forgot to tell you guys, but I am going to have not only all the racing, but I have custom and show cars and custom and show motorcycles. And my motorcycle sponsor is Lifestyle Cycles in Anaheim. And if you've never been there, he is now I have to read it right or Junior will kill me. He is Southern California's largest previously owned Harley Superstore. And I know I read it, and I'm sorry, Junior, I just didn't want to mix it up, but...
Now, they are located on State College,
Correct.
right off the 91 freeway. They're
Correct.
like 100 feet from the freeway, so as soon as you get off, they're right there.
And if you've never gone to his store, it's fabulous. And he is a very special person. He's just wonderful. And he's bringing some very famous bikes with him. One of our judges is going to be Matt Hatch, who won, who won the Discovery Channel's International Biker Build-Off, and he won that championship back-to-back.
Wow.
So he will be one of the judges for the motorcycles, and Junior is bringing out a huge display of motorcycles that I think will really thrill the crowd as well. And you just need to come down and see it, and then talk with Junior and let him show you some of his bikes.
This is going to be an extravaganza of a car show.
I tried to have something for everybody. So I'm really excited about it, as you can tell by my tone. And but if I can take a minute, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my dad and how I got to do this.
All right.
Is that okay?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
All right. Well, my dad's name was Bob Russo, and my dad is in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, the Motorsports Hall of Fame. There's a plaque that hangs at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with my dad's likeness on it. And then every year they give an award in his name during the 500.
Wow.
And if you've ever taken the tour at the Speedway at Indy, you will run across some different awards. And one of them, I don't know the exact name. It's been too long since I've been out there. But it's for the most unluckiest driver in the race. And my dad started that along with several other organizations. And my father was not a driver, but he was very instrumental in bringing just about every aspect of auto racing to California. And he worked with some of the biggest names, including Barbara and Wally Parks, who I traveled with as a kid and grew up around.
Wow.
And Mickey Thompson and his wife Trudy, who we spent lots of time with and knew very well. And Roger Penske and the Hullmans out at Indy. And my dad was instrumental in forming USAC. And I could just brag about my dad forever.
Wow.
But when he retired, he started Thunderfest, and then again, like I had said previously, he was diagnosed with cancer, so I thought I'd be the good daughter and help him run the event, and I lost him 2 weeks prior to the event in 1999.
How many years had it gone on before that?
From 1995.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of cool that, you have the ability to do something like this in your father's memory, and you have all those relationships or connections from previous, as you were growing up, those wonderful families that were in the racing industry. But the best part is, you've got all those wonderful memories of your dad, and he's kind of still living on through you while you're continuing to do this.
Well, it keeps me kind of close to my dad. So I'm an only child, and I was very close to I'm close to both my parents, but very close to my dad. And I traveled with my dad. I went to a lot of the race, tracks and speedways and things like that with my dad. And when my dad was instrumental in setting up Ontario Motor Speedway, I was out there a lot. I hung out there, and I hate to say it because I'm so old now, but I was one of the first victory girls out there. And nobody knew who my dad was. I did it on my own. and so nobody
knew. What, the victory girl part?
Yes.
Now Bruce is searching the internet right now to find that
Now,
Google.
What is a victory girl? Because I don't recall that, but why don't you enlighten us all?
Well, when Ontario Motor Speedway was first formed, they had, I can't remember how many there were of us.
It's like an umbrella girl.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Well, wishful thinking, Scotty.
What is that? I don't even know what an umbrella girl is.
Oh, you're going to Google that in a little bit.
I don't want to go there. We were in the suites that the Speedway had, and we were up on the I can't think of the word, like where the special seating.
Be very careful on which words you pick.
I am. Up in the special reserved seating area, and we gave directions to people, and my favorite thing was getting to tell people where to go.
Yeah, I can.
Diana-Mite does that to me all the time.
Yeah. I guess I'm a victory girl, too.
Were you sitting on the back of a convertible?
Yeah, I did sit on the back of a convertible a couple of times.
Okay,
and
Bruce is targeting in now.
Yeah. Was that like during a parade or during the beginning of a race or
in a car wash?
Yeah.
At the car wash. No.
At the car wash.
Yeah, never mind.
So there were about 4 of us that were chosen. Again, I just want to say nobody knew who my dad was. And we got chosen to do other things representing the Speedway. In other words, I worked with a radio station, and we did some promotions. We did a parade. We did some parades and different things like that. So I learned how to do the parade wave.
Oh, Diana-Mite knows that.
Yeah, I do that. Vote for me for Citrus Queen.
Yeah, there you go.
Vote for me.
Yeah. And there is a way to wave, isn't there?
Yes.
Like you're pushing the air.
Yes. Yeah, or peanut butter.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off.
We've all got our own. Well, what does Lucky envision this wave as?
He's going to be quiet right now. He's going to get hit.
He's a man. He doesn't wave.
I can't wave.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. So I thank you for the time to kind of talk about my dad. That's something that's really important to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, Bruce, we've got a clip about Hot Rodders of Tomorrow.
Yes.
And while you play that, I got to ask you, because you were at one point a Hot Rodder of Tomorrow when you were a
kid.
Yeah, a kid.
There you go.
I was going to say victory girl, but maybe that's not right. Anyway, and there were things, your dad, that inspired you, that got you involved in motorsports, and Headman Headers and the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get kids involved in racing. Now, you mentioned something about at your event, the Streets of Thunder, and that's October 7th in Ontario, California, that you had some kind of a kids activity. I'm guessing that's for like the little kids?
It ranges up to the older kids. I mean, I think we're going to have a bounce, one of the bouncy houses, and some other different things for the kids to do. There might, I haven't been confirmed yet on all the activities for the kids, but hopefully we're going to have some things that they'll enjoy doing at the event. And then but to me, the best thing is for them to be able to walk around and see the cars and meet the drivers, because especially the younger kids, It's not easy to be in the pits. It's a dangerous, at times, place to be. I was never allowed in the pits as a kid. My dad just wouldn't allow me to go. And so I think this will make a great experience for them to be able to see race cars right there and look inside and see what the cockpits look like and what everything, how it all works, and then to hear it up close.
And you mentioned racers letting kids sit in the car. I do that all the time with our cars. I'll let them sit in the car.
Yeah, put the helmet on, take a picture.
Yeah, have their mom take a picture of the kid giving a thumbs up. I mean, that stuff is just great memories.
It is, and I growing up as a kid, doing the things that I did, being around the various drivers, I can remember being back in Indy, and we would rent a house for the summer, and people like Roger Ward and Parnelli Jones and just different drivers would come over, and there'd be huge card games, and I'd hang out with the kids and we'd play. So it's a great environment. The kids will love it, and then especially I'm going to have some junior dragsters out there. So if you've got some kids coming out that are really kicking around the idea that they'd like to beg their mom and dad instead of a pony but for a dragster, there's people for them to talk to about getting their kids started.
Well, and you know what? The kids then get incentives on keeping their grades up because they have to keep a certain GPA to be able to drive those junior dragsters. So
I did that with my kid,
Yeah. So sounds like a great event. Sounds like a lot of stuff going on for the whole family. It is freeway close. And that date again, Lucky?
That is going to be October 7th, and that's in Ontario, California. And there's going to be food. There's going to be, I'm guessing there's probably going to be things to drink if Budweiser is your sponsor.
Maybe just a little. Yeah.
I can't help but, make that leap.
And the easiest way to get all the information on this would be?
To go to the website, which is Streets of Thunder Motorsports.events.com. And, of course, you can go to the Facebook page also. You can go there. There's a link on our page that'll take you right to it, and you can get information there. And what's that, like a week and a half away from now, roughly?
A week from Sunday, so yeah. Absolutely, and just to let people know, I'm still accepting applications. You can call my number that's listed on my website, and I'll give you the number, 909-899-9288. You can still register a car or a motorcycle, and the registration for cars is $30. That does include your lunch for two, a T-shirt. I've got coffee and donuts waiting for everybody in the morning, so I'm spoiling the tar out of everybody.
Now, is there any day of show entries?
What?
Can they enter the day of the show, or is it all pre-entry?
Yes, we're going to register at the door, too.
Okay.
I didn't
cars
get it
and
either.
motorcycles. Thank you. I thought I was losing my mind.
I've
already lost mine.
Yeah, I'm doing a big
day of show entry. So if you don't get it pre-entered, you can enter at the door.
Yes.
At the gate.
Correct. The only thing I can't guarantee, I know you won't get a T-shirt because they'll already be printed. What everybody needs, another T-shirt.
Well,
yes, you do.
Let's do a couple of what's going on. We got a couple of minutes, right, Diana-Mite?
Absolutely. We want to thank our sponsors, Curry Racing Rear Ends, for allowing us to put this show on, as well as Hedman Hustler Headers, right, Lucky?
That's right, and also dragraceresults.com. If you want to get more information on a lot of the racings that are going on, visit dragraceresults.com. And here's a car show that was a few weeks ago in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, actually located at the Dollywood Splash Mountain, and that's what you're seeing now.
Who's doing this crazy videography? I mean, it's like, oh my gosh,
guy,
are you on a bicycle or something? Are those girls in their bikinis or what?
I didn't notice at the time, Diana-Mite. When I'm filming, I'm professional and focused at all times.
Yeah,
I think I was
focused on
filming that tree in the back.
The tree,
Okay, well, let's get down to what's going on. NHRA Heritage Race is going to be in 2 weeks at Bakersfield. That's Famoso Auto Club Raceway.
Unfortunately, that is the same weekend that the Streets of Thunder will be at Ontario, which is October 7th. So if you're not going to be out at the Heritage Race in Bakersfield, this is a great opportunity to head down to Ontario, California, and visit visit Streets of Thunder.
October 12th through the 14th, ANRA has their season's final, and that again is at the Auto Club Famosa Bakersfield Raceway.
Diana-Mite, did you know that the Garland race team won the Summer Nationals and are currently in lead for winning the championship?
No, I did not know that, Lucky, but I do know if you continue to interrupt me, we won't get all these read.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Let's go to the next one. October 12th through the 14th, the Tennessee Tuck Triple Crown race at Bowling Green. This series has over $350,000 up for grabs.
In 19th through the 21st of October, the California Hot Rod Reunion at Bakersfield. Speed Scene Live will be there. Come on out to the Curry booth. Check out the Curry rear ends. Check out the Hedman Hustler headers.
And let's not forget, October 26th through the 28th, NMCA West race. That's going to be at Famosa Bakersfield. Be there or be square. For all of you guys that were at Pomona a few weeks ago, I know you had a blast, so did we.
It should be a little bit cooler this time around.
Just a bit.
And I know that a lot of you racers were at Speed World last weekend while we were at Cruising for the Cure, and congratulations to everybody that did great out there. But this is the new date and the new location for the last race of the NMCA West. They had to reschedule due to the fact that Fontana is not yet available for racing.
But we want everybody to come out, show your love, show your support, because we definitely want NMCA West to come back next year. You know what? Just come out by the droves, because we want them to see that we've got spirit here on the West Coast, and we're drag racers to the core, and they need to be here every year. Right, Lucky?
That's right. Terry, we want to thank you for coming in studio and talking about the Streets of Thunder, October 7th in Ontario, California. It's a great event. It's really going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to many years at the same location.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Good.
Bob, thanks so much. You know what? We love your little bit of gas that you give us every time. It's always different.
Yeah, I always save it up for you. Check out my Facebook page. I've got a tank where I keep it during the week.
Oh, so that's how you pull that off.
That's it, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, October 12th, 1320 Extreme will be at Lebanon Valley Dragway.
Did you just get that on the phone, Lucky?
I did just now. I read it on my crew update.
Man, nothing like live television.
Bruce, take it away, babe. We're after the top.
Hey, by the way, Diana-Mite, good to see you back.
Good to be back.
There you go. Scott Lucky Hudson, good to see you.
Good to be front.
Yeah. Bob, same deal, man. We'll see everybody next week except for Terry. Terry, next time we do this, we got to do this again soon.
Sounds good. Just ask me back. I'll be happy to come. Thanks again.
It's a deal. I'm shaking on it.
Okay.
Right. Coming up, the encore presentation of the show, and we'll be back with a live Speed Scene edition next week right here at Speed Scene Live. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you have a great rest of the week.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and TheFope.com.